You know, those things exist in the earth plane. And it's almost incredible to think of like, why would we even want that? Why would we want to come here and experience that? But on the other side, there's the absolute, which means that if you had everything, you pretty much have nothing. And so you want to come into this experience to experience, quite literally like, oh, there's an exciting trip I want to take. Okay, who is taking a boat trip? Who is going on a cruise recently? Who's planning a cruise, literally? Somebody's taking a cruise. I see boats. I see something's happening with the boat. Who's going on a boat? Anybody with a cruise? Or you haven't discovered it yet. I really want to know. Somebody's like, that would be cool, even if it just feels in passing.
A friend of mine and I was talking today. They're going to Italy in a week.
In a cruise?
I'm not sure if they're going to cruise while they're there, but they are flying there.
Okay, so now that I'm okay. And let me see if I can pin myself. Okay, and I'm not quite sure how to do that, but I'm going to learn this. Okay, view. Okay, I'm not quite finding how to pin myself, but we'll see. If everyone can put themselves on speaker view, if they click on the gallery and put themselves on speaker view, that may assist. Okay, so speaker view, okay. So this evening is about connecting with loved ones and loved ones on the other side specifically. If you've had sessions with me, oftentimes information will come through that is both for present events as well. So I'm just going to sense and feel first and foremost what's coming through. I have this image of a gentleman in my mind. He looks like he's wearing what I'm going to call a derby hat. To me, it looks like a cap that looks like one of those golf hats. This gentleman is wearing slacks. He has a sweater that what I want to say is like a cable knit sweater, and it's very thick and it's kind of rolled on over the shoulders, and it's got these big black buttons, or like it looks like dark brown actually, buttons on the sweater. I see him walking outdoors in a path, and he's got his hands very regal behind his back. Who does this sound like for anyone? Does this sound like someone, and I want to say it's like father-like, so I hope I can see you. Okay,
It
yes.
might be my dad.
Okay, please share with me because
his name is Ron.
Say that again.
His name is Ron.
Ron. Now I see him walking kind of very straight, and his posture is important. And I'm seeing where his hands are behind his back, and he's kind of walking forward and very pensive, walking outside, and I see a couple of dogs around him. Does that sound like your father?
He used to walk one dog, but I don't believe at one point there might have been two, an Irish setter and a white dog, but this was many, many, many years ago. 30 years ago.
Okay.
The dogs were alive.
Okay.
And then with his bad knees in the last 20 years of his life, he didn't walk straight up.
Okay. Now this is interesting to me because the image that he is giving me is with him being, his posture is very direct and he feels very dignified, and that's very specific for me to mention. So if he did not walk in that manner for the last 20 years, he is showing me himself in that way, which shows that he's overcome, and they overcome on the other side, where they really do, and the ailments that we had experienced, from previous times and what we experience in the lifetime does not continue on the other side. Oh yes, he's very, very happy with this. He feels so satisfied with it, and it feels like being outside is so important. I see that this is, What connection does this have? I see like what looks like family property. It looks like a barn. There's some, it looks like some expensive property, but I do see like multiple buildings. I see a little bit of a creek next to a road. What does this describe? He's really happy about this property, this space.
Jan, what does that sound like to you? It might be Red Lodge, Montana, where he was born.
Okay.
And
I would say, because I'm seeing trees, I'm seeing outdoors, I'm seeing like country, but then this walking with a little creek. And again, it's like real walking outside and with the dog. I do see 2 dogs. And one in particular, I see 3, and which is interesting that I actually currently see him with 2. Did he have, please forgive me, I'm not familiar with species, but it looks, I want to say a border collie. I don't know what that is, what that looks like, but the image that I have in my mind is a very, very, very sharp dog. This dog is very, very, very bright. It's very quick, very.
that would have been the Irish setter.
Okay.
And then there was a little white mongrel, kind of a mutt, and a
Okay.
poodle, a
Okay.
brown poodle. My sister and I, about 2 hours ago, were saying, if we had a question, it would be, is our dad around? Because both parents have passed. And we
Yes.
both, she and I hear my mom in our heads. We smell her perfume, but we haven't sensed dad. And he passed in 2010. Mom
Okay.
passed in 2019. And so I guess we were really concerned, how is he doing? And that might be why he jumped in first and just said, hey.
Full force. So if you literally had a conversation and 2 of you were engaged in that conversation, really wanting to know about him, because again, the image that he gives me and how he holds himself dignified and very much like on purpose. So it's like get to business kind of done. And it's like, but he's got an interesting, you have to get to know him. He's soft and he's kind, but he's got a quick wit and a sharp tongue. So
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So, but he's showing me that he's okay because, and he's about, let's get this done. Let's not mess around. We've got to get this done. No messing around.
Yeah, that was him.
Okay. Now, are there 4 of you in the family, 4 children?
Well, my mom had a previous marriage with 3 children, and then that ended and she married my dad, and there was me and my younger sister. She didn't get here in time. She's on the road in the car and listening through the cell phone.
Ah, okay.
So there's only 2 of us that are his kids.
Okay. Now, oftentimes this does seem to come through, and I don't know if there's any way for you to validate this, being that both of them have passed, but if mom had lost a child, even in utero, whether by choice or happenstance, oftentimes I will feel them as well. So that could potentially be, because I do feel 3 of you.
2 of her first 3 children have passed.
Okay. 2 of her first 3. Okay. Understood. So then that's also coming through to that they're just fine as well. I feel them as well. And I do see them as children. She claims them as children. I want to talk about your brother. And why do I want to talk about a truck and a hat? That doesn't make sense to me. Does that make any sense?
I'm not sure. Artie drove a truck all the time.
Okay. Did he ever have like a hat that he would hang on a rack inside the truck? But it's like the truck and the hat. One goes with the other. They both go together, and you'll never see me without both, without either, something to that effect.
Probably. Usually I didn't see him in his work truck. They lived in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
So we would see in family situations in the house, and he would not have a hat on.
Okay. That's always because I want to say it's hanging on the truck. And the truck and the hat go hand in hand, and you won't see me without either one. So it feels like, because he feels really also like it's like he's respectful. It's like a kind of like a taking off and leaving it there so that he can walk away and leave it there. Seems like
Yeah.
he had to really learn how to do that. And I suddenly feel like a sensation in my chest. And so I feel a sensation in my chest. Somebody feels like heart. So who has heart issue, heart past of heart event, heart. And I'm also feeling like digestive. So it's really all around the heart. And this feels rather recent. So if this does not seem that it's around your, it could be that we're moving. This is really significant, and all of it. I'm getting a lot. It's pretty intense. Somebody passes a pretty intense heart. I'm getting, it feels like heart, but it's upper chest.
If nobody's popping in, you might be hitting on my mom right now.
Okay.
She fell, collapsed her left lung.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
fluid buildup, and there was pressure, and then within 10 days she passed.
Then this is definitely your mom, because I am feeling this incredible, insane pressure. I feel like it's heart, and I want to talk about my lungs, and I'm having a lot of difficulty breathing. And it feels more, it feels lopsided, and it feels like I'm so gravitating towards the right side. So I would definitely say mom will come through for sure. There's an issue with like I want to say like there's a very discolored dark leg. So did she have blood clotting, a circulatory issue? There's something really discolored in the leg.
Oh, no, but my cousin is going through that right now, and he's still alive.
That
He's just
okay.
been diagnosed with COPD. He's had blemas, little burst bubbles in the lung, 3 of them in the past 3 months. And 6 months ago, he had an issue with his leg swelling up, and it turned almost black.
Black. I want to say it's a black leg. Okay. So it's so discolored. Okay.
But
So
he's
this
still with
is,
us.
that's okay. This is a way to acknowledge that they see what happens on the other side. So loved ones actually acknowledging what he's currently experiencing. And this actually comes through courtesy of mom, because mom was showing me her issues with lung, which automatically kind of invites this. It's like a chain and a hook and a me too. So there's acknowledgement for what he's going through. Now, has his mom also passed?
Yes, and his mother was my
Yes.
mother's very close sister.
Okay, because that's what I'm feeling is like mom is on the other side and she's saying, please take care of my baby, pray for my baby. So
Okay.
now it's interesting that she calls him baby. So is he the
He's a
youngest? Is
youngest
there,
boy, but he
yeah,
was born with an issue with she was on heart medication while she was pregnant. And this was
okay,
back when they didn't know not to do that.
okay. So then I can see then this is why extra care, extra for her baby, because she feels a little guilty that she kind of had this onset thing going on. So wow. So like some genetic stuff all around lungs issues. And so she's got some really significant caring concern. And it's interesting because I want to talk about guilt does not hold on the other side the way that we would in human senses. So there is a releasing of that. So, but there is also a recognition and awareness of what we are going through the human experience. So she's acknowledging that this indeed occurred and this is the outcome. And then there's like prayers being offered from them on the other side, our loved ones, to our people here. Now, you'll have to please forgive me. My dog is scratching and is relentless. So pardon me for a moment. Okay. So this is what I would call a me too. So what ends up happening is that when there is a similarity in either experience or message, they will open up and then they'll say, oh, that's me too, me too. And they jump in to be able to give another message. Now, because this is, again, soul reading, it's about sensing and feeling like really what's at the core, that without like extracting from thin air or like we all have an invitation for our loved ones. May our loved ones be here. So we invite our loved ones, our ancestors, to be here. For me, because of my near-death experience, and I straddle in these two places, soul continues. The body is what ceases. but soul and our energy, our frequency does not end. And I do not feel them any different, whether they are alive or past. So as you go forward and I mention someone as you just experienced, they're like, oh, wait, but he's still alive. It doesn't mean that he's on his way out. It just means that, wow, they're acknowledging. And for me, I feel those on the other side equally in life force, just as I do with them here. So I will literally have to ask, has this person passed? Because it's really about who's present and also who's on the other side. So life continuing for sure. So there is that acknowledgement. I also want to say that either you or your sister, one of you have been having a really bum knee and it's starting to affect the hip and then even some mobility. So, and affecting walking. So I'm now back to your father. So who is not walking?
Well, my sister who's on the cell phone is having that issue, but
Okay.
the lady on the call with us too, Christina, who is my soul sister, has been having the same issue basically with her left leg and right leg, right hip. I get confused. I think my sister Jan is left and Christina's right.
Okay. So then again, that's a perfect example of a me too, and being able to acknowledge that. So now with that, Christina, that it comes in of those who are present. Okay, I'm seeing someone with lots of papers and writing, lots and lots of writing, taking notes, doing study, writing, preparing. Who's in the middle of writing a book, a manuscript, doing some, okay, that's as you as well. Okay, and I also
Two other
see,
people that raised their hand.
okay, okay. Okay, so this is courtesy coming through your dad, Cindy, and with also those that are also experiencing it. And somebody's really got bad connection. I'm so sorry, I cannot hear you. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So there's lots of writing, lots of research, lots of study.
I have not studied. I had a reading with you, Maria Lupita, about 12 months ago, and you told me in the reading that you said you're going to be doing lots of writing. And I had never written, I'd never been interested in writing. And then a few months later, my friend Tara, who's with me today, she introduced me to a book called The Artist's Way. And you described this book perfectly in the reading that we had, but I didn't understand it at the time. And anyway, so I took the book up and I've been writing every day ever since. And I've got so much, but I don't know what I'm doing with it.
Okay, that is amazing. I've got an electrified feeling running all through my very being.
Wow.
That's one of the beautiful examples of where so often when something will be given in present moment that does not quite make sense. And this is why I've even had people look at me like I've got 3 heads and say, you're crazy, lady, and will call me and say, oh my God, that very thing. So thank you so much for your sharing that, Rachel. And I'm so excited to hear that. You know, that again, there's no coincidences of why we are brought together in these times and spaces. So many hands I saw, and I see it says CN and then L. So there's another participant on as well that is sharing this experience. So many of us are riding that experience. So by show of hands, who feels that desire to share that experience? Begin to jot down their experience, whether you choose to do it professionally or just for yourself. Show of hands. Okay, very good. Well, and it is a personal experience. What you have within your being is meant to be shared within the world. So just follow and trust that gently. Okay, and I see also Denise as well. Denise and Mark. Hello, so good to see you. I don't see. Let me change my view to gallery view so I can enjoy seeing all of your beautiful faces. Yes. Okay. Now I can see all of you because otherwise you're just scrolling along the top and I had to kind of go back and forth. Okay. So I want to call on C. So it's, do you go by Cindy? What do you go by? It's a CNL. Okay. So there's Cindy. Okay. So you're also, this is interesting. So
it's the lady in the car with the white shirt.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. Yeah. Okay, so come on up because I feel writing. I want to talk to you about it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm Crystal.
Okay, Crystal. Crystal, hi. Okay, so nice to meet you. Okay, I don't know why, but who is writing about dragons or studying dragons or looking at dragons? What is dragons?
So, well, I'm
Cindy.
currently in the middle of writing a children's book, but
Okay.
My husband is a dragon by Chinese zodiac. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Okay, that's potentially. So this is again a me too. So I'm feeling Crystal and Cindy. I don't know what, but there's something here that's really a stir because I'm drawn to talk to you, Crystal. Okay, and then also, so Cindy, you're writing a book about dragons. There's something about dragons
I'm
here.
reading a book about dragons
Reading.
and entertainment, but the book is about speaking your reality into existence, and it is for everybody. It's not just for me.
Okay, now think about that. It's about speaking our reality into existence. So many of us are here wanting to learn this skill. How do we live within this current reality, that which we see in our mind? Desire placed inside your heart before you were born. Okay, so wow, all being brought through, I see a beautiful dragon to mention a book about dragons that talks about how we bring this into the world. Okay, so some of you have questions on how we listen to that guidance. Okay, and as something as simple as just, I'm thinking of a dragon, and then we find this message and how it comes through. Okay, so Crystal, there is this magical element. I'm seeing glitter. Okay, I don't know why, but it's very sparkly and glitter.
Oh my
okay.
God. Okay, so it could be my cousin Venus. She recently passed, and she would always say to me, "I eat glitter for breakfast." She would laugh, and I just remembered that 2 days ago that she would say that.
Okay. Oh, I want to cry. Did she leave behind a daughter?
A little sister.
A sister. Okay.
And her mom and her were very, very close. My auntie, it's Auntie Monica, and her sister's Mia, and she recently passed in October.
Just need to take a breath with that one. Because it's like my sister, my baby. Okay. And it's all glitter.
Oh my goodness.
Then I see also, this is interesting. I see, okay, let me just take a breath. I see a ladybug.
Oh my goodness. That's
and
Mimi.
A butterfly.
And
okay.
That's it.
Okay. So I see both. Okay. And it's interesting because this image that I have in my mind is like this scattering and explosion of glitter, like a pop thing that would have popped and glitter everywhere. And I'm hearing it like sirens and like these horns, and I'm like, okay, like all of this stuff. And it's, what concert did you guys not get to go to?
Okay, so that could be a concert, huh? Okay, so my brother Adrian, he used to make music, and he had just recently got like a big music deal, and then he was murdered. And so it was like he was just starting, and then he was gone.
Okay.
So that could be, or
it is. It totally is, because I'm like, what concert did you not get to go to? Because you would have gone to his.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He was so talented and just so special, and he had such a hard life, and he was just never giving up on his dream for music, and he was getting there, and he was so close, and then he was taken.
Yeah. I'm seeing it all on the other side. So like even God, I'm so emotional because just bear with me because it's just not natural. I know somebody's really angry here, okay, for loss of a child.
Yes, my dad.
Angry.
Yeah, very angry. Can't reckon.
Yeah. And I'm just shaking right now. He's in a place of where he's really questioning his faith. And everything inside of him is like where he's turning cold and dark and bitter where he never would have before. It's like so unlike him. Okay, what did he close down the shop? There's like the shed, there's something in there. It's just like collecting dust. He's just walking away.
Okay, so my brother, when he was killed, he wrecked into a shed. That
Okay,
could be, or my
that's
yeah,
yeah.
it could be.
It's that, and it's also, so it's one of these messages, dual message. I see the shed, I see this big event, but I'm also seeing like where it is a mess, there's destruction, but I also see like getting cobwebs, not being used, something that he used to love and enjoy. It's just like, meh, excuse my language, but somebody's in a place of just, fuck it.
Oh, my
I
dad.
don't give a shit. Okay, and it's literally that. Okay,
Mhm.
okay,
I think riding motorcycles, it could be.
okay.
He could ride all the time, and now he just leaves his motorcycle. It just sits and collects dust in his shed.
That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing is whatever's in the shed that had enjoyment with this stuff is just collecting dust and it's just there. Okay. Um, wow. So how do we reconcile these great big losses? You know, some of these things that's so difficult on the other side, and our loved ones do see this. The most difficult thing is that we either we go in one or two directions. Now, given what I do, I have this ability that even as myself did not alleviate my grief and my pain as well. That I also felt the devastation and the loss because it rips through our lives. We have to reassemble ourselves in who we were in absence of them. But they are so powerful on the other side. And this is why I have to actually ask, are they alive? Are they here? Because they do continue. When this is the greatest thing that is occurring on the planet at this moment, and at a soul level we know this, we will continue. I have had now 2 different near-death experiences, and what we are is so far much greater than we can possibly imagine. I have had some incredible experiences with some of you directly on here, giving evidence and proof of soul still existent on the other side, totally active and still here, dual incarnations, you know, having these other experiences that we are so powerful. The most difficult thing is that we get hooked into this very deep, dark, dense energy on the earth plane, and we are not taught what we are. We are not taught how to feel and sense at the truth of our being. The truth of what we are has been taken from us. And when this is really what we're feeling and sensing, is that they are truly, and for me, I do straddle both of these realms. I am both here and I am both there. So as when I'm talking with an individual, I literally feel myself like extended and pulled and still with you here, but also seeing them there. That this is an ability that we all truly do indeed have. That when they talk about that veil on the other side, okay, this thin veil, and it really is becoming thinner. And what does that even mean? It just means that these frequencies that used to be in this density is more accessible. That as we raise ourselves within ourselves, that we can sense and feel and tune into. So our loved ones on the other side do indeed still continue, and it is us here that have to learn those ways and how to overcome. And really, we feel like we're torn apart and we are dismembered in those moments. But also in those moments, we have the opportunity to reassemble and remember ourselves. Hold on to that deep part inside of ourselves. Hold on to that faith. So may this, my deepest desire is really through this is to be able to share and convey the truth of what we are. So for anyone who is deeply in that sense of place of pain, you know, those things exist in the earth plane. And it's almost incredible to think of like, why would we even want that? Why would we want to come here and experience that? But on the other side, there's there's the absolute, which means that if you had everything, you pretty much have nothing. And so you want to come into this experience to experience, quite literally like, oh, there's an exciting trip I want to take. Okay, who is taking a boat trip? Who is going on a cruise recently? Who's planning a cruise, literally? Somebody's taking a cruise. I see boats. I see something's happening with the boat. Who's going on a boat? Anybody with a cruise? Ah, or you haven't discovered it yet. I really want to know. Somebody's like, that would be cool, even if it just feels in passing.
A friend of mine and I was talking today. They're going to Italy in a week.
In a cruise?
I'm not sure if they're going to cruise while they're there, but they are flying there.
Okay, so
That's
now
all
that
I
I'm
know.
okay, go, Maria.
Hi, my husband and I
Hi.
were talking about cruising down the Mississippi.
Yes.
You know, we're not making plans for it, you know, but we thought, well, we both agreed that would be
Yes.
something enjoyable.
Okay, very enjoyable. Okay, that actually, because I'm like, I saw like what looked like one of those Viking cruise things.
Yeah.
And I mistook it thinking like it would have been like in Europe or the UK somewhere. So if there's one in the Mississippi, there you go for sure. Then it's definitely you. Your husband has a deep curiosity, but he's kind of on the fringe of this. Is that accurate?
Curiosity and what?
In what we're talking about, soul, spirit, other side, all of this stuff.
It's not what he does, but he's been very supportive and he is interested and he, you know, tells people what I do.
Okay. Very, very good. It feels really good energy. Okay, now I see a young man that seems to be like traveling very into books. He carries a laptop, carries books, and he's like getting ready to travel to come and see. Very academic. So I don't know if this is still around you, Maria, but
I
there's
don't think so.
Okay, who has a son, academia, thinking of coming, hasn't traveled in quite a while, carries books, carries a laptop, in between some kind of study, at a distance though. Does this make sense for anybody? Okay, let me get a further sense into this. Past, present. Okay, so let's extend ourselves. Think of our friends, think of our family. I see a young man, like, oh gosh, I see like this leather satchel, what I want to call a satchel. I'm putting these books and I'm reading, and there's flags and there's all kinds of sticky notes, and it's in a book in like something that would look like this. Okay, anybody?
Maria Lupita, I have a nephew that works from home and he's going to Costa Rica for a month and he'll be working from there.
Okay.
I don't know if he carries a satchel, but
yeah,
he's a young guy that's very motivated.
Very. He's got like business minded, and I see all these books and everything. So I think that's if it's whether it's literal or symbolic, it's really what it feels like. There's a there's a lot of care for him. Somebody's like, oh, Majito, please pray. And we got to say the rose and we got to pray for him because he's going to be going. And there's like this. Okay, so who is that?
Yeah, that's my brother's son.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother's very spiritual.
Okay. Like, and it even feels like there's like wanting to set up a prayer circle to be able to pray before his trip. So like there's family coming together to do like a novena or something, like to pray.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You know, and even if he is doing it within himself, he has a deep devotion to the Blessed Mother. Wow. Who has a tattoo of the Virgin? Somebody has a tattoo.
I don't know.
Okay. I would ask, because it's still like around your family. Somebody there in your family still like has a tattoo that represents La Virgen. Somebody has a tattoo. Okay. I would ask, because it's still like around your family. Somebody there in your family still like has a tattoo that represents La Virgen. Somebody there in your family still like has a tattoo that represents La Virgen. Somebody there in your family still like has a tattoo that represents La Virgen. Somebody there in your family still like has a tattoo that represents La Virgen. they have a tattoo. And this is interesting to me because it even feels like, even if it's they're considering getting one, okay? But I'm seeing your nephew, I'm seeing the trip. Okay, now I feel like his grandma has passed, but not on your side. So his grandma's passed. So I don't know if this is.
I'm not
Okay.
sure because I don't know his other grandmother. His
Okay.
mom's mom, I don't really know her, so I'm not sure.
The feeling that I have for it more is just for care and concern for his trip. That seeing him actually travel, seeing him actually take the trip, and then just have to have care for him, and then the prayers. Okay, so that's coming up really significant. So it's just a hello and a desire to have that safety. Okay, now, but now all of a sudden I do feel like I want to say whose child, whose son is at a distance also, works at a distance, lives at the distance. Okay, so Maria. Okay, so this did pop in when I was feeling Maria, and then where yours popped in. So this is still the connection here. Okay, so continue, Maria. So yes, a son at a distance.
Yes, he lives at a distance and he works.
Okay, now is he considering traveling to you? Because I saw like a traveling to, and then now there's also this travel going, which is interesting. So it feels like there's a now it feels like later this year. So I don't know if it's like this is around fall or you
Well,
guys.
I told him I'm coming to visit him in August.
Okay.
And I think he'd like to visit, but he works a lot.
Okay. So this is really beautiful then. So then you visiting him, and then I just see like somewhere like fall, like we're in perhaps just the desire. Now, where do I see some place now that has these most incredible, beautiful, multicolored leaves? So I'm seeing walking these leaves on the ground. They're beautiful, different colors. They're golden, auburn, green. They're like what I would expect to see like in Virginia, that kind of area. Walking outdoors, lots of leaves. Ooh, why would this be significant? So I know it's so random. I see a walking path. I see leaves. Okay, yes. Rachel.
Are they autumn leaves that you're seeing?
Yes. Yes.
Because it's autumn here at the moment, and in the garden, I'm surrounded. When I look out the window, all you can see are autumn leaves. It's very, very colourful.
That's what I'm seeing. Do you have a St. Francis statue outside or a statue of some kind outside?
I have a statue by my bed of the Infant of Prague.
Okay.
But I don't have a statue outside, but a little statue by my bed, which my mother gave me.
Okay.
But my mother is in her 80s, but we have fallen out. We haven't spoken for 18 months.
Okay. So then I feel this is definitely for you because I'm feeling that. And then I also again see Crystal. So Crystal, who has the St. Francis statue?
I think my dad, or my grandmother.
Okay. Now I can see the connection because there's the statue bedside because it's really about autumn. So this is really for you, Rachel, where it felt like originally. And then again, the me too, the jumping in message, the desire for the healing while now in life. So, and all of a sudden I'm going to say is like, she's so set in her ways. She's so set in her ways.
She's had a long-term partner, and he's a very dominating personality, very egoic, and we clash. And she's always followed her partners in life. My stepfather, her new partner. And we just can't see each other because of him. We were very close, but there is that separation between us,
and an influence that's really separated. And okay. And I see your head nodding as well, Crystal. So that feels like it's applicable as well. Okay, so again, no coincidences of why we are drawn together and messages come through together in unity. And so really it's that desire for on the other side to want to create avenues and paths for healing while we are here. So having these opportunities, and the best thing that we can do is, we can't change another. We can, all we can do is desire it in our heart and hold them in a place where we can, kind of calm and soothe ourselves. And one of the most best ways that we can do this, especially when we can't create closure in life, so some of us have had experiences with people who have crossed over where those moments of closure we're not able to have had. And so it's an opportunity. So the way that it would look is something to the effect of, that underneath all of our stories, underneath of our layers and all of our perceptual states and our experiences and our stuck stories. So she's 86, Rachel, I want to say like mid 80s.
89.
89. Okay. So then I'm drawn
Yeah.
about 86 is like when this was the
Yes.
beginning of the occurrence. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So like right around that age, and so set in ways. And so, but I see you doing it beautifully. I see that a lot of what you're actually writing about is about holding space in heart, is like soothing the heart, just being okay. This, like, I see coming into a place of acceptance, release, not holding on. Was like before of this.
I have released a lot of the pain.
A lot. Yes.
Gone. I'm comfortable
Yes.
with where I am. And
yeah. And I see a lot of that gentle sharing. There's something really beautiful and settling, having been able to come through the other side. So it feels you have a very beautiful way of imagery through your words. So like part of what you're writing, so it feels like as you're looking outside to those beautiful autumn leaves, and it feels like the description, the feel, the like I can totally immerse myself in if I read it, I'm immersing myself in what I'm reading that you're writing. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm reading it and I have this whole image in my mind, and it's animals and nature and light and sun.
Nature a lot, and spiritual things, and the garden and nature.
Beautifully done. That really, really does serve. So as we continue these things, as you do and have these journeys, nature. Okay. Now all of a sudden I'm like hearing, I'm hearing both Hana and I'm hearing Ra. So I want to talk about nature. I'm hearing the wind chimes. Wind chimes. Are you taking them in and out? Denise, are you having to bring them in and out?
No, but we've had a lot of wind, and the chimes have really been blasting. I even posted it on Instagram, I think yesterday or day before. So.
Oh, how funny. The last one I saw was a singing bowl. Okay, so now, what did you hang? You tied a leaf and hung it on a tree. Where did you do that?
I planted a pomegranate tree in honor of Hannah a few months ago, and today I was fixing one of the branches that was hanging down. So I was propping up one of the branches on her tree.
Were you tying it? Because I see a tie, like a.
I have it on a forked stick, but I have tied it on other branches.
Okay, so I'm drawn to the tree. So she's seeing the tree.
Good. I've asked her to help me watch over it.
Okay, now why do I want to say don't put the yellow? Does that make any sense to you?
I briefly, for about 10 seconds, thought about painting the fence behind the tree yellow or with sunflowers or something. So I won't.
Okay. She's like, don't put the yellow. Don't put the yellow.
Sunflowers,
yes. Sunflowers
in the neighborhood.
Yeah. I sunflowers feel really good, but I'm like, don't put the yellow. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing somebody who has either has a painting, and I'm seeing it about this big, it looks like a big purple and yellow golden heart. and it's about this big, and it's, I don't know if you're painting it or you're doing who's doing that?
Well, the heart may represent her sister. I just finished a painting for her sister's birthday and put it in the mail yesterday.
So then this is a
But
way
it's-
to talk about her sister, because I want to say also, like, and I was going to ask, and I know it's so general, but when I literally see balloons, I do see that somebody is having a birthday very, so if I'm seeing the purple heart in that, it's the way to talk about her sister. And then at the balloon that I see now, I understand is for her. So yeah, a birthday wish from Hannah to her sister. Did you paint a little pink thing at the last second? What's the little
Well,
pink?
what I painted at the last second, which and it does have a pink sunset in the background,
Okay.
but I put in a spaceship and aliens hidden in the background.
Love it. Oh, okay.
I put
'Cause
my
I'm
own
like,
signature on it.
perfect, because I'm seeing the pink and I'm like, I want to talk about whatever's in that pink, and you did something. So does it have like these little like motion things?
Well, it has some beams of light coming out of the
Beams of light.
spaceship. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing, is like this thing through the pink. Okay. She's loving it. Okay. And I want to say Montana. Where are you?
We're at home in California.
What's in Montana, or who's in Montana? I hear all of a sudden Montana.
Maybe that's Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Okay,
The
so that'll
Devil's
do.
Tower, I don't know.
So this
'Cause
is
I
this is definitely courtesy of Hannah and all the alien energy for Cindy. Okay,
My
so
dad,
talk to,
born and
okay.
raised in
Okay.
Montana. But he lives
Okay.
in Houston.
And whose dog just barked?
I'm sorry, that's Serge. We're muting.
Okay, no, that's totally okay, because animals sense and feel and see. Okay, so that also shows big energy and presence. So oftentimes when I'm in session, my dog will go crazy, and oftentimes will want to go in and out because it's just too much energy. So validation, good for you, presence. Yeah, beautiful. The memorial place that you're going, Denise and Mark, like I see you guys doing something on this big mountain, this big boulder, this big rock. There's this big thing there. It feels very beautiful, but like somewhere, I don't know, you guys are traveling someplace high, and I see rock and mountain and then something ceremonious. Are you guys, do you
Awesome.
have, okay.
We'll
Has
look
that
forward to that.
has that happened already though? Because it's something about a boulder, big boulder.
Not to my knowledge right now.
Okay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what's in Boulder, Colorado? So who has ties to Boulder, Colorado, if any? I just need to make sure that that's not what actually, okay, yes. Sarah.
I have a nephew that lives in Colorado, very close to
Okay.
Boulder.
Very close. Now, is he, what is the connection to military?
No, that's not me.
I think there were boulders in Montana, Rock Creek.
Okay. So there's a base in Montana. Did I hear that correctly? Somebody?
My sister was on the phone. I thought I had muted myself. I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's
have
okay.
cousins in Montana, west of Boulder, in a cabin. They live on a mountain.
Okay.
Kind of is bald at the top, so it's a little boulder-ish. I
Yeah.
have cousins in Montana. A cousin who's having a hard time with her husband with Parkinson's and dementia at the same time.
Okay. Now I'm drawn to the Parkinson's, because I also feel like somebody else here's family member also is either currently or past had Parkinson's.
My brother passed from Parkinson's.
Okay, and who else? Okay.
My dad.
Okay, so Denise, okay, because I'm like, this is one's especially it has a twitch more in the head. If there's a tick in the head, I see one, and then I see another one that has it more with the something with the arm, some more with the twitch, and so. Okay, so I don't know, Mark, which one yours would be, how it presented.
Yeah, my dad, it would be in the arms.
Okay.
My brother was the head.
the head. Okay, so I'm just seeing both, and I just needed to distinguish that I am truly actually seeing both. So Mark, you're always so beautiful and so giving and allowing for other, but this is really like your dad for you. So like coming through. Was there an anniversary, something nearby around this time for him? Or around? I see anniversary.
Well, the anniversary was April the 4th, which is Denise and I's anniversary,
Yours
but also
anniversary. Okay.
my mother's birthday as well.
Okay.
So my dad would have participated in Mom's birthday, you know, if they were still here.
Okay. So then this is definitely your dad, because I'm all drawn to you and you don't like attention, but it's like, I want to talk about you, boy. It's all, and I want to say my boy, okay, which is interesting. And then the congratulations for the anniversary, because it's all anniversary. So the symbol of that in my mind looks like literally a champagne bottle, and I can hear the pops corking. So I know that that's an anniversary for someone. Someone else also recently is going to be celebrating anniversary too, really close. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's also for you then. So because I'm like, no, there's one more. Okay, beautiful.
My husband and I are celebrating 40 years. Not till September, but we are actually taking our anniversary trip in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that would definitely do, because you guys are planning, it's coming up. It feels very, very soon, because it feels like something about it engaged. Okay, wonderful.
My name's
Now,
Karen, by the way. I know it shows OEM, but my name's Karen. I
Karen.
can't figure out how to change that, but
No problem, not a problem. Thank you for sharing. And so I guess it's evidence too that it really doesn't matter. I do not check names. I just literally show up, and whoever shows up on the other end shows up. And so thank you for sharing, because it really is about your soul, your essence, how you feel, you know, and really about that. Okay. So I know that we're coming up really close upon time, and I wish that I have enough opportunity to be able to get to something, but I just want to just allow at least one opportunity at the end. If anybody has a question about the spirit world, or, you know, that we can kind of close on. I know that that's kind of a big loaded question, because like everybody's going to have a question, but maybe we just can close on a, you know, a general curiosity. And if I can call in somebody that hasn't had an opportunity to be read for tonight, if you would like to, if you haven't had any, if you have an opportunity to share or ask a question, and on someone I haven't talked to. So Gina, that would also be Tara, if you'd like, Deborah, Pat, Danielle, even Christina.
The other thing I can think of is like my father passed away in 2001, I think. And I used to have dreams about him, but now like in the beginning there were a lot of dreams, and then but like I haven't had hardly any, let's say, now. And then I think about like other relatives that were very close to me, and I often wonder, like, how come I don't dream of them ever? Like I've never had a dream of anyone. So I don't know, something like that.
Okay, beautiful. And some of us do, and some of us don't. One of the interesting things is dreams is one of the ways in which they do really connect. I love that you were able to say, like, very powerfully, had them really strong in the beginning. And oftentimes people will share that they experience it in the reverse. They'll say, like, gosh, my family member has not come to me yet. So oftentimes it's a good sign that they're actually really good, engaged, and in the other side. And if we're wanting to connect, we can even have an invitation, you know, so we can go to bed. And the difference is, without this deep, heavy, grief-filled burden, like, the heavy wanting, rather than, that felt kind of cool, I want to connect. And the reason is that we are in this like really deep, dense energy. And in order for them to connect with us, it's like they have to go into a deep dive at the same time that we elevate ourselves. And one of the best ways to do that is when we are sleeping, when our consciousness is at rest and we're in this place of non-focus, open state where we can sense and feel them. Okay, so sometimes they come through or they don't come through oftentimes, it's that it sounds funny to say like, oh, they're busy on the other side, but oftentimes it's really that they may not have a necessary necessarily a need, but when like if you yourself, if we are going through trials, our loved ones will want to convey a message, and sometimes they'll like inject and intercede and actually push a dream to us to give us a message. And other times when we're in a relaxed state, we can be like, oh, I had a dream of so and so, and we were playing cards, kind of like in a gentle thing when they're like in a party or where it's open. So pay attention to the kind of dream that you have as well. So oftentimes it could be that they, and this is not common, but this is not common. But there are often times when souls that cross don't fully cross, that there are often times when they are literally discarnate, which means that they haven't chosen to fully, and that would happen if like somebody's in a really traumatic state, or they've had a severe trauma, or if they're in a state of intense grief or fear even. And so there's always counsel, there's always protection, but oftentimes, not often, that's a rare thing that happens, but it happens on occasion. That's very, very rare that I have ever felt that in all of the thousands of sessions that I've had, however. So if we're wanting to connect, have an invitation, be in an open state. Go to bed, relax, listening to perhaps some quiet, gentle music, and be in an open state of wanting, inviting, and receiving. And then pay attention to what comes. And even though it may not come quite that night, pay attention, because oftentimes time does not exist for them on the other side. And so they can appear to us outside of that sense, and so for us, it might be a lapse of time or days. Okay. So thank you so much for asking the question. I thank all of you so much for being here, for sharing time with me this evening. I thank you so much, so deeply. And like I said, you each are, the first ones here. And I thank you for being so open, so kind, and so gentle with it. And I truly hold each one of you in a place of honor. And if I had not had the opportunity to share with you, just know that my heart is with you, and I do pray that every one of us will hold a message of that hope, that faith, that sense of, that seed of hope is what I would like to call it, so we can carry that with us. Okay. So thank you all so much. Blessings all to you, truly, deeply. Okay. And I really do hope that I get to see you again in the future. All righty. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
thought this was
you.
supposed to be 90 minutes.